All right, everybody, we're going to get into how to prepare a tracking session for mixing. So this is called mix prep, and it's what you have to do before you take your studio session and start mixing the song. Cool, so let's get started. I have already grabbed the project. First thing you're going to do is make sure the project is within a file structure that it's safe and you're going to be able to work from and not have to move it. Currently, this is in data in my Music 53 folder, Mix Projects, under the artist name, and here is a zip file with the actual song ready to mix prep. What you're going to do with the zip file is right-click, Open With, Archive Utility, and it's going to unpack it to this so you can see all the contents. And then this is the project. Here's all your audio files. So you're looking good. You're going to double click that and open it. And this particular song took many different sessions to make. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring all of these overdubs and tracking sessions into multi-tracks so we can mix it. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is look over your project and see what all tracks you have. Right now we've got a mix window in the back and we've got a tracks window in the front. I'm just going to keep the tracks window open right here and take a look. So Command down arrow. I'm going to expand those a little bit, or even just click this button so I could see all the tracks. So I noticed that I've got a vocal track here with a few edits to deal with and an actual little group of take folders. I've got some vocal harmonies. Looks like some were decided not to be used and already muted. Got some take folders here to check out. And here I've got another ad lib with some take folders to check out. The synth bass seems to have a couple of take folders. We'll check that out. The pianos need to be edited to make sure all those punch-ins are clean. The acoustic guitar, same thing. And all the drums seem to start at the top and go straight through. So those are looking good. Little background on this, we tracked the drums in a way that the engineer did create new tracks every time we did a take. Instead of take folders, we had switched those settings to experiment. And so what I've done is I've hidden all of the alternate tracks underneath the main final take, the last take. So this would be the last take. And so take 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I've just kept track 4. I've hidden all the rest. Otherwise, the project would look like this. You could still go and choose different sections of the drums that way. But for now, I'm opting to go with take 4 of the drums and hide all of the other takes. That's a bit unusual, but if you ever run into that, there's a trick to deal with that. Okay, so the first thing I want to address is the vocal, because we want to make sure the vocal's clean and good to go. So here's what you want to do. We're going to Command down arrow and get the vocal a little bigger. Scroll up. And I'm going to solo the vocal and take a listen.
I didn't know her.
Okay, so the first thing I want to do is look at these punch-ins and take folders. So let's Option Control zoom in on this section. When you hold Option Control, it turns into a magnifying glass, and when you hold it again and just click anywhere, it zooms back out. It's a nice quick way to zoom in. Now deselect, make sure you're not selected on any of these. When it's yellow and highlighted, it's selected. Make sure you're not selected.
Something.
Okay, so this section right here, it looks like I had in the mix done a selection-based processing. So that verb is part of it. and that's cool. We could keep that. There's nothing we can do about that. Except for maybe remove these things if we want. But just to show you what I did, I'm going to control click or right click, choose selection based processing. And you can see here, I did a filter with the EQ, and I loaded the pedal board with some effects on here. And that's what you're hearing here. You could always undo that or take these off, but we're going to leave it because that's part of the mix that we plan to hit on. Okay, so let's listen to these edits. That's what we're focused on.
Can you find a way out? I just need a way out.
All right, so I'm going to zoom more in here.
I just need a way out.
Okay, so right here, I'm going to go and make sure my right click tool is marquee. And this is a big part of what we're going to do. We're going to marquee all the way to here. We're going to Command X and erase that section. Now I'm going to pull this part out until the end there. And I'm going to go into my tools, my regular tool here, which is T, and grab the fade tool. I'm going to fade that right there. Okay, now there's going to be, there we go, that's nice and smooth. Press T twice, go back to your pointer tool.
Out in the open.
Okay, so now we're going to go back into the fade tool, which is A. We're going to put a tiny little fade right there just to be safe. Zoom out, and that's looking pretty good. Now we're going to go here, press T twice, go back to our pointer. We're going to listen to this outro vocal.
If we stay here, if we stay here.
Let me open up the mixer, make sure. I'm going to pull the master down quite a bit just for this screen recording. You're not going to need to do this. Okay. So I can unsolo.
Can we stay here?
And now I'm going to take everything but the vocals down. Well, actually, leave all the vocals up and pull everything else down. Cool. Okay, let's listen to take 3. Back, less than greater than for navigating the timeline here.
You're part of the oceans. I just need a way out.
Okay, that's not even the right part, so we know that take 4 is what we want. We're going to choose that, flatten. And now we have comp the take, option control, click, and here we are back at the top. Okay, so now what we need to do is go through the vocal and listen for any noises and remove them. So one thing you could do is click the track and press Z, and that'll zoom in that track. Oftentimes I still need a command right arrow and zoom in this way even more.
You don't look new to me. I'll watch.
So this is a pretty clean vocal take. I'm going to look for maybe some places where there could be a breath or a pause or some room noise.
Here.
Right there, there's a little mouth noise. So I'm going to marquee that, command drag, command X. And it keeps wanting me to erase the automation data, so I'm going to look here and see what we got for automation. So I'll press this again, and let's see. Command. Okay, I got a little bit of delay throw on there, so what I'm going to do is say delete automation for now because we're going to redo all that. And now as I edit, so press A again and you're out of automation. And as I edit, it won't keep asking me that.
If we stay
Okay, press Z again.
here, can we stay here? Can we stay?
So there's not a lot of noises in here. It's great.
Can you find a way
You can get rid of breaths or not.
out? If we
Okay, so this one is pretty clean. Let's see. We don't need all this silence at the end. I'm going to marquee, Command X, press T, press A, fade that, press T twice, back to the pointer. I do like to get rid of any extra little spaces like this. T, A, fade, fade. T twice. Okay, just to make sure everything's clean. I'll listen to all these little spots.
I guess we didn't have a chance, but we
Okay, these are pretty clean. You could really get in here and clean up all these little sections. But for this vocal, it looks pretty clean. I'm going to go chop that off. T, A, fade, fade, T twice. Scrolling through. Looking for any pops or clicks.
here. Can we stay?
Okay, this seems pretty clean. I'm going to fade the top of this.
I didn't.
Okay, now once you do it, you can actually grab it and change it here. And you could change the shape too.
I did.
There we go. T twice, back to the pointer. And to get back to the regular zoom, I'll just click that and this. All right, so here's the next trick. Once you've got that all edited, we're ready to join them. So we're going to command marquee this track all the way to the top of the timeline. Although, now I look at it, the track starts here at bar 4. Let's see. So now I want to command A, select all, pull everything back to the top of the timeline. Yes, any automation that might be in there right now, you want to move. Now the song starts at the top of the timeline. Your command marquee all the way to the top of the timeline. So what this does, it selects this whole region or this whole time. Then you're going to press J for join. Create. And that puts the vocal take into one complete track starting at the top of the timeline. Okay, that's what we want. Now we need to continue that process with all these other tracks. So for instance, we'll look at these two. Okay, what's going on here? What is this? Sometimes you got to figure out what is going on in here. This looks like it was a way to get that effect maybe, but then we went with the selection based. So if we mute this, do we even need that? Oh, I know why that's there. That is a copy of that word, way out, so that we can do a delay throw in the mix. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of that little piece right there. And the idea is to have this on its own track, drop a delay on it, and then the way out is going to delay out there. So this was a choice made at the time to go slap that down there and give it the chance to have its own track so we could do a delay throw later. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Looks like there's a click track created. Oh, sweet. Just crash logic.